Greetings, innocents of the digital world. Aside the serial killer coming today on day 260 of the year of vlogging dangerously. And this morning I recorded a video that I'm not going to upload that was really depressing because I failed my express test. And yeah, it's a shitty deal, but it's not as shitty a deal as I thought it was. It's shit because I failed on, something that was subjective rather than objective in my eyes and in the eyes of a lot of people. I failed on push-ups. 2 push-ups. It's all that stood between me and actually passing this fucking test. Except that after I did a certain number of push-ups, every third one was counted because I wasn't at an exact 90-degree angle. Oh, but if I had questioned it, the guy was holding a pencil to mark. Yeah, right. He was holding a pencil to mark the spot I needed to drop to get to the push-up mark. I'm sorry, but if your hand is holding something, this can happen. So it's not an accurate measure. And what's the fucking difference between 90 and 93 degrees? Whatever. What I really want to talk about today, though, is the mad genius of Randall Munroe. Randall Munroe is the mind behind xkcd.com, which I have referenced probably before. XKCD is a webcomic. But it's not just a web comic, it's more like a series of web musings. XKCD is a universe of insanity and amazing things. Randall himself is a roboticist. Yes, he's a scientist who has worked at a NASA research facility building robots for them in the past, and now let's see, what does his bio say he does now? He says he lives in Massachusetts, and in his spare time he climbs things, opens strange doors, and goes to goth clubs dressed as a frat guy so he can stand around and look terribly uncomfortable. And at frat parties he does the same thing, but the other thing around. So, the man's an eccentric. He does comics of language, of science, of just absolute randomness, of joy, of wonder, and he also does a what is or a what if blog where he answers questions, theoretical questions. I believe I've talked about that one. Today's was particularly funny. What if a rainstorm dropped all of its water in a single giant drop? He goes into some physics and craziness, some weather, some meteorology, and the man's thorough and awesome. But he's outdone himself today with his click and drag comic. The click and drag comic is he's got these genius ideas where he'll do a representation of all of the buildings in the world, or a scaled thing, and it's wacky in scale, or he'll represent an abstract to most of us in a very concrete fashion, a visual, like a massive series of statistics in a visual that is easy to understand. Now he's done this thing called Click and Drag, and Click and Drag is it's a simple comic premise where it's talking about the world being a wonderful thing. From the stories I expected the world to be sad, and it was, and I expected it to be wonderful. It was. And then it just says click and drag, and it's got a big box down below, and when you click and drag, you start roaming around the landscape and seeing new and wonderful and amazing things. And it's just joyously great, that discovery. I've sat there before and I've drawn page upon page of stick people doing things, and like landscapes and crazy wars and stuff like that. This is like that to macro scale, because I spent 5-10 minutes scrolling around, up buildings, down little ways, and then I end up going down into a tunnel and then over, and the scale is just insane. The man is a genius. He's a mad genius, and I absolutely and completely and thoroughly recommend you go check out his stuff. And if it's not the front page when you go check it out, check out the Click and Drag comic, because it's great. But the whole body of work he's done is pretty awesome. And I think that's about it. I, as usual, have been the serial killer. Questions, comments, concerns, death threats, you know where to put them in the comment section below. And while it's not the end of the world, well, no, it's not. I'll talk to you tomorrow.